What's going on, guys? Bradley Martyn here, and today I want to try something a little bit different. I've looked at your guys' comments and what you guys have said that you want to see, or what you don't want to see as much, or what you want to see more of. And this is going to be like the first video in I wouldn't necessarily call it a series, but I want to try a different style of these types of videos where kind of give you guys everything wrapped in one as much as possible, so that we can try and show you like the actual video itself. You can see while I'm doing the weights, you'll be able to see, what's going through my mind as far as what I'm thinking about as I'm doing it, so you can get a better idea. So when you go do it yourself, you have an idea of how to go through that workout yourself. So today I'll be doing a shoulder routine. We're gonna do it in a way where when you're doing the overhead press, you want to think about pressing the weight straight up and down. All right. A lot of people will bring the weight forward, and their elbows will stay forward. They'll stay forward the whole time. So you're gonna be thinking about keeping the weight out because you're on a smaller bench, right? You think about keeping the weight out over a line with your chest and keep your elbows right under the weight. So as you're pressing up, you think about pressing up and directly over your head. All right, guys. So for the seated military press, do it in like a 5-set, minute and a half rest, and for each set you want to try and get 10 to 15 reps. Try and get closer to the further end. So if the weight's a little bit too heavy, you start getting around like 8, 9, 10. Drop the weight a little bit and get to that closer to the 15 reps. Next exercise is going to be a straight bar front raise. Okay, so when you're doing this exercise, it's really important to focus on keeping your elbow ahead of the bar. So what that means is as you're bringing the bar up, like towards your shoulders or up and out, you don't want your hands to be up above the bar. You want your elbow to be leading it. So your hand should be lower than the elbow. So again, we're gonna be doing this in the same set rep fashion as the first exercise. So it's gonna be 5 sets, 10 to 15. And again, if the weight is too heavy to get towards 15, drop the weight down and make sure you get around 14, 15, ideally 15. And take a minute rest on this one rather than a minute 30. We're gonna go right into lateral raises. So these will be side lateral raises. And as you can tell, I kind of like to bring the weight to the front of my body rather than right to the side. So I like to bring the weight to the front, and then as I pull up, I'll pull out and back a little bit. So when I get to the top portion, I'm getting to like, the weight will be out over my, kind of like in line with my body. And then as I bring the weight down, it comes out to the front. For the lateral raises, I like to do these in a much higher volume. Again, it's a bodybuilding style exercise for me. And the weight is gonna be a little bit lower for this full routine. So try and get around like 15 to 25. And honestly, try and get to 25. Try and get a weight that you can comfortably get to 25, but it still be challenging the last 5 reps. And for this, take a 2-minute rest in between each set. All right, so for the 4th exercise, we're gonna be doing a face pull. And I've done this in a few of my other videos, so if you guys wanna go check out some of my other videos or some of my warm-ups involve the face pull. This time we're gonna be doing it as an actual exercise in the routine. So when you're doing it here for like the actual exercise purposes, you guys gotta understand this is the rear delt is a muscle that is a very small muscle, and it doesn't require a ton of weight to get active, but more concentration. So when you're doing this, you really have to focus on pulling your elbows out and back, back and up almost in a sense. And a lot of the times, if you increase the weight too much, you're gonna be pulling with your shoulders, you're gonna be activating your traps. And your traps are a much more powerful, more dominant muscle, and they will take over. So you gotta understand the weight has to be lower here, and you gotta focus on pulling the elbows back and up and really contracting with the shoulder, with the rear delt. And again, it's a small range of motion, so you're not gonna feel it here to here. But if you're thinking about keeping the weight, as you start to go back and almost control it and pause slightly at the back, you're gonna get a better contraction in the rear delt, and you start to learn to use it more for your beginner lifters out there. We'll be doing a higher volume, just like the previous one. So this one will be like a 15 to 20. All right, and the last exercise is gonna be the shrugs. And this is an exercise that is like probably my favorite when it comes to building the traps. And I mean, as you can see, just kidding. So building the traps are gonna give you that like kind of that dominant effect, that dominant look. But when you do this, you gotta understand, like, you definitely wanna get the weight higher, right? So we don't wanna do this with low weight. You wanna do this with weight that you can control, but still challenge yourself. When you're doing the shrugs, as you can see, I kinda like to keep my elbows forward, right? So I don't like to pull back. I see a lot of people in the gym, they'll do this thing and they'll kind of roll their shoulders or they'll pull the weight back. the traps work much more effectively when your elbows are rolled forward and you're pulling straight up. And another thing, so when you're doing the shrugs, make sure to keep your chest upright. The elbows can be rolled forward. You're pulling your elbows and you're pulling your shoulders straight up, and keep your glutes nice and tight. You know, when you drop the weight down, the reason why I can move a heavy weight and kind of it could almost look like it's bouncing a little bit is because every time the weight starts to go to the bottom, I'm contracting my glutes and I'm keeping my glutes tight. And a lot of times, if you're not doing this, you guys maybe complain about back pain and things like that, but the reason why I can move the weight the way that I do is because I'm focusing on anytime the weight is going to hit the bottom. So when I'm in that loading phase when it's coming down, my glutes are tight, so I never get pain in my lower back. So make sure you guys keep your glutes nice and tight throughout the range of motion, throughout the movement, and keep your body nice and upright. That's going to keep you safe. All right, guys, so I hope you like this. A little bit different. I want to make sure you guys are getting everything that you want out of this and everything that you want, you know, from the videos, from the explanations, and anything you guys feel like I missed or you want to hear more of or you want to know more about or what videos to do next, put in the comment section below. If you guys liked it, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Find me on Instagram at Bradley Martyn with a Y, Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, everything. It's just my name with a Y. Check me out. See you guys soon. Let's get better together. So much more coming soon. And if you guys, again, I put a video last week about body power. If you're there, make sure you find me. And yeah, see you all soon.